Hey, guys, it's Don Hobbs, and I'm here with a special guest. I'm going to introduce her in a second. But, we're talking about EXP today because it has become such a movement. I remember meeting Glenn Sanford, the founder of the company, one day, and I said, I've never seen anything like this. I've been part of Century 21 growing from the scratch. It was right down the street from my office when I was 19, 20 years old, and Art Bartlett had just started this thing. And I remember that. I remember when Remax really became the big deal. And I also had the pleasure of being the first speaker at Keller Williams when they were at their first convention ever. They only had 350 people in the whole company, and there was only like 250 people at the convention. Obviously, whatever I said was magic, and it blew the company up. But I'm not joking. I've been part of all these companies growing, and I'd never seen like this. And I remember saying to Glenn, "This is not growth. This is a movement." And it's super exciting. And I got to tell you, we have people like Annabelle joining us, and Annabelle Pacheco. She's from the Walnut, California. If you don't know where Walnut is, consider east of Los Angeles and a little ways out of LA. I mean, I'm sure probably if she's in the international world, she might go, I'm from LA. But Annabelle, I'm really glad to have you here with us today. And thanks for taking some time, and welcome.
Thank you, Don. Thanks. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is cool because you came over very recently, and tell us where you were. We don't have to mention names. I don't want to make anybody wrong or bad, but you were in a situation for a long time, right?
Yes. So I was a previous broker for 10 years. Excellent. I made incredible relationships, great friends. The broker was amazing. I learned a lot. I mean, my career, I started my career there, and I really owe a lot to the education and just the surroundings of people there. But coming to EXP has just been it's another world, and what I do, or what I say to myself, is like, all these years I was with blinders. Like, I wasn't even open to looking to see what was out there. And I'm so glad I was in a position to really open myself and allow myself to see this. And it's incredible. It's another world. It's an awesome world that I'm part of now.
Well, we're glad you're part of it. And I will tell you, the interesting part about your particular journey is that you were with a guy, and I know him, and love him for years and years. Really great guy. I've watched his career grow, and now he's owner of many companies, and really great people. But the thing that was so interesting about your journey was it kind of happened during the coronavirus time. And, it's like if all things were normal, I'm not sure that even you would have been open to it, to be honest with you, because
Probably not.
it was
Probably
just that
not.
nobody was in their office. Things were weird. It was just kind of an awkward, strange time. And the interesting part about EXP, and for those that are watching this and don't really know, we're a cloud-based company. There's four disruptors in our world of EXP, four disruptors in the world of real estate, if you will. Number one, we're cloud-based. And therefore we've got a very different model. We're one brokerage, and it's extremely different. But the real makeup of our brilliance, if you will, and I didn't create it, so I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying the real makeup of our brilliance is we have a training platform that's unbelievable. We have technology that's amazing, and part of that is this virtual nature. We're like the Airbnb or the Uber. I mean, I remember when Uber, I was like, what the hell is Uber? Everybody's talking about Uber, Uber, Uber. And I'm like, I don't even know what Uber is. But there's so many companies that have gone that direction. We've got even a Netflix. It's interesting that uh, the streaming video world was not created by the TV networks. It was created by something completely outside. And a lot of times the disruptors are those things that come out of nowhere and interrupt what's been done for so many years. This is the way we always do things. And of course, the other two disruptors as part of this company is that we're all shareholders. And I'm sure, well, I want to talk to you about that because I'm sure that's going to be an interesting conversation. And then the last part is that we actually get to share in the revenues of the company. If we help grow the company, we get to share in the revenues. When you came over, though, it was like, would your gate have even been open? Would your door have even been able to be knocked on if it wasn't for this weird coronavirus time and kind of being disrupted already? You were already displaced, right, from the
Right.
traditional bricks and mortar.
Yeah, I can tell you for sure, we would have been in our normal office day to day. I would probably not have even made the move. And I think what allowed, which I'm actually kind of grateful for, you know, I'm a firm believer of things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of happy that I stayed home. Although it was against I was resistant, I was fighting it. I didn't want to work from home. And for me, it was always like, no, I got to work in the office. I can't work at home. And you know what? It's a total mindset thing. The minute I set myself up here, I had everything that I needed here. It's exactly the same thing. And now I'm just plugged into another world where I have instant, like just everything is at the tip of my fingers. I
Yeah.
don't have to pick up my phone. All I need to do is move my mouse and go to the broker or go to the, you know, auditorium for a class or talk to someone in technology. I mean, everything is there. It's amazing. I'm super excited. You have no idea. This to me is what I think every agent needs. But you know what? We're not all ready. Nobody's open to this, but I think for me, couldn't have been any better. I'm 50, and I think that, you know what? I have a good solid 10 years to plan to use what this company has to be in a great position in 10 years when I'm done.
Well, and I definitely want to dig into that because, for most agents, it's like, well, how can this help me do more business? And that's a big question, right? Is this real estate company supportive of that? And we'll talk about that. But there's also a bigger picture because the one thing that occurred to me when I first got it, when I finally got it, because I was living with somebody and I was Gary Keller's business partner on a division of one of his companies. And I'm living with an EXP, a person who left Keller Williams. And by the way, she too, like you, she would have never left that company. She loved that company. I mean, everything was like, there was no way anybody was going to interrupt her or get into her brain or any of that stuff. She wasn't looking. She didn't hate it. She wasn't, I got to find something better. She had no interest in joining something different. And
Yep.
yet when she saw it, it was so compelling. And actually she was trying to talk me into this world. And I'm like, I don't get it. And so, I mean, when I listen to people that don't get it, I'm like, I kind of get that they don't get it. You have to really understand all the intricacies, and there's so much. It's almost like, really, all this available to me. And I love what you said about blinders, because you don't know sometimes what you don't know. You don't even know what the options are. You don't know what the opportunities are.
Right.
You're in a Southern California area. I remember a big company there, Tarbell Realtors, for years and years, was one of my big clients when I had Hobbs Herder in my big company. And I remember that they didn't really encourage people to go to meetings outside of the company. And part of the reason for it was because it was a controlled environment. It was like, they don't know what they don't know. And I'm not even knocking Tarbell, because they've gone on to Berkshire Hathaway and, whatever. But I think a lot of times we don't know what's out there. We get so locked in, and my broker has helped me so much. My manager has been such a big fan of mine. They've really helped me grow. So we've got these thoughts in our mind, and I appreciate the loyalty. Honestly, I mean, I love it when it's coming our direction, but I also know that agents and brokers today have to open their minds up, because we are not out of the box thinking. We are like a freaking different box. We are just completely different, right?
Yep.
And so let's talk about that. Part of why I thought about doing this with you is that every time I talk to you, you're just so freaking energized. I mean, you're almost giddy. And I'm like, it's funny that, again, at our age that
because this is exciting.
I know.
It's like, this is, I mean, I can't even imagine doing what I was doing in the last 10 years, another 10 years. No way. This just gives it that nice little, adjustment for you to just scale and grow where there's no limit.
Well, and you come from a situation where it's pretty traditional real estate.
Yes.
And, it's like, I still want to go into the bank. I still want to go see my travel agent. I still want to, it's like, you think about how funny it is to think those thoughts, like, I take a picture of a check and, first of all, whoever gives me a check, but I mean, if they're still using them, I'm taking a picture and it's being deposited automatically, right? In our case, all checks are deposited straight to the agent's account. But it's really funny how people want to cling to how it's always been. And in the real estate world, that's a lot of what they're doing. So tell me about it. Because I remember when you first came over, you were just pumped about, how easy it was to to move over. Then there was a thing, and then there was a class, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then there was a convention, and oh my gosh. Like, so let's walk through some of the steps. What's been the biggest ahas for you and some of the most exciting pieces for you?
Well, okay, so number one, I have to say commission is huge, right?
The commission?
Commission, yeah, the cap,
Right.
$16,000, and that's it. The rest is mine. That was number one.
You had a cap before.
No, well, we didn't have a cap until just recently, and I think the cap jumped about 27,000. And I just thought, that doesn't work for me. I know that it didn't go well with me. But I didn't say anything. Hey, this is someone else's company. They're running it. This is how they're doing it. I
Yeah.
respect that, and that's fine. And I said, when I looked at the structure at EXP, not only was the cap, but what I loved was having the opportunity. This was my aha, having the opportunity to put 5% of my money from my commission into stocks. I'm creating my own 401k, like my own little, savings there that I never would have done at my previous broker or any traditional broker office. That just doesn't exist.
It
And
doesn't.
I'm so excited when I closed my first deal right before, and they give you your disbursement sheet and you're able to see the breakdown. I'm like, oh my God, I have money saved. It's mine. It's going into my own little savings account, right?
And by the
Moving
way,
forward,
10% discount.
and at 10% discount. I'm
Right.
like, this is amazing, right? And this is just one deal. Let's add up what I'm gonna do in the next 10 years, 5 years, whatever.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that was huge. That to me was huge, and I'm sure that a lot of people maybe don't see that, but I mean, when you actually get down and you look at the numbers, it does make a big difference. There's a lot of money that we as real estate agents are leaving on the table, and we don't realize it. Why? Because maybe we're getting an office. Maybe there's all these other bells and whistles that we are indirectly paying for, but are they really helping our business? Are we really growing, or are we doing the same thing? So
So your free office isn't so free, huh?
it's not free. Exactly. It's really not free.
The other thing that I want to say, because you were part of a company that really has, and this may divulge which company it was, but they actually have an 8% royalty. So there's franchises, right? They all have some sort of royalty, whether it's Remax or Keller Williams or Berkshire Hathaway. They all have some sort of a structure. And that
Right.
goes to the corporate, right? It goes to corporate, but we're not a franchise. So we're one brokerage, right? One big fire, one team, one dream. And there's no fee. So in other words, you're not paying the 8% you were paying, the 8%. So a 70-30 split is not 70-30, it's 62,
That's right.
right? 30, it's not even 38, it's 30 and then
Right.
8, right? The company's getting their 8 regardless. And
Correct.
and it's not your broker, by the way, that's the company. That's like your broker.
Correct. That's the franchise.
Franchise.
Correct. That's just the franchise. Whereas this time, since we don't have franchise fee, I have the ability to put away, or to take out 5% and put it into my company stocks, which is my future.
Right. I love that. What else struck you as you were moving along? Because I remember the days, like every day was like, you were just like, I can't believe this.
So I think, the culture in this company is amazing. Everyone is so collaborative. Everybody's about sharing and helping, and it doesn't matter if you are a brand new agent to the company, if you're a seasoned agent. I mean, I think they really care about these brand new agents, right? They're willing to help. Just this whole platform, this world is amazing. I mean, I love building my avatar, right? Like dressing up my avatar and going into this world and talking to people and getting things resolved immediately. I mean, honestly, it's incredible. I love it. I think it's the future.
Well, so that brings up an interesting point because, I can talk to my broker wherever I am. I can talk to my broker. I can talk to my administrative people. I can talk to but can you really? Like you walk in and how often, like for example, how often did you have a technology person that was around your office? I don't know, but I'm just
Right.
curious, right? A couple days
I
a
think
week.
we had someone, we probably had someone at our office twice a week.
Okay. Okay. So how often can you get to the tech person in our offices, and how long does it take, and what's the line? Well, there's got to be a line. There's got to be appointments backed up, right? Beyond belief. So
Yeah.
what's the
Oh
situation
my,
now?
oh my gosh. I go in there and sometimes I'm like, there's no waiting. They take you immediately. And sometimes maybe there's two or three people in front of you and that's like minutes. That doesn't mean you're going to have to wait 30, 40 minutes. That means 5 minutes at most. And they take care of your situation. I mean, if you can't resolve it, they can remotely go in, take care of it, and it's done. And it's like, oh my
Right.
gosh, this would have taken me hours or maybe a day or two to wait for someone to come and really address that.
And it's 11 hours a day, 5 days a week, right? It's 8 in the morning, East Coast to 5 o'clock Pacific, West Coast, and you get 11 hours of service. And there's 600 employees. So at most offices, you got one administrative person, or maybe two, or one, person doing whatever that is. You got a whole bunch of people doing that stuff here, right? It's all available to you, and it's
And they're
available to
so
you.
friendly. They're
I know.
so friendly. I mean, it's like you just walk in and it's like they know you, like we've been friends forever. Super nice people. I mean, honestly, the staff is awesome.
I was thinking how funny that you said you love dressing your avatar up, and I want to make a point because this is where it really gets wacky. We're based on a gaming platform called Verbella, and if you want to look it up, anybody that's watching this, you can
Yeah.
look it up. Verbella it was always a big deal, but it's become a really big deal through coronavirus time because what's happened is, the military, universities. I mean, everybody's reaching out and going, "We want that." We just put on a convention, a conference we call the EXP Summit, Shareholders Summit last week. We had 10,000 people. Everybody else had to close their conventions down. They couldn't do the conventions. We did. And when you walked in, did it blow your mind? I walked in and it looks like a convention center.
Incredible.
It was
I
nuts.
mean, like, it's just, this is, I mean, you would have told me that I would be working for a company that is all virtual and that these buildings look so real. I would have been like, no way. This is
Yep.
just crazy. It's incredible. Interactive. I mean, I was walking down the aisles. I stopped by one of the booths, spoke to someone there. I mean, full on air actually. It's crazy. I can't wait to bring clients. I would love to do a meeting with my clients through this world. I think that's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be fun, and yeah, it's fun, but we're taking care of business.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you a funny story about that, and I want to keep on your story because it's been so fun to watch your journey. But a year ago, we were opening up. We were getting ready to open up some other countries, and the first country we opened up was, well, we had Canada. Canada's been open, and we have big population there. But the UK, so England, and we had a guy that was trying to open it up. We had a guy that we thought was going to be the leader of that whole thing. So here we are sitting around a table. Imagine, Allison. So Allison's sitting there, and she's in Austin, where we are today, where I am today. I was in California, where you are today. Our CFO, who's in New York, was there sitting at a table in an avatar format, but he's sitting at the table. Our CEO from Boston was sitting at the table, and this guy from England is sitting at the table. So we've having this meeting. Oh, and our partner in Dallas is sitting there. So there's 6 of us around this table, and we're actually creating the plan for opening the UK. And I'm like, people would think this was just completely nuts to think that we were
Yeah.
having a business meeting like this, structuring a whole country, right? And it all happened in an avatar form, just like that. And so this world really is an amazing platform. So I wanted to make the point though, because one thing Gene Frederick said a long time ago is nobody ever joins this company to become an avatar. It's ridiculous. And yet at the same time, it also becomes the efficiency of our,
Yeah.
our business model, right? Because
Right.
there's another piece to it too, which is, we should talk about this, because we don't have bricks and mortar. We don't have all that. Doesn't mean you can't, by the way. I mean, if you want to have an office, you're welcome to it. But because the corporation has not spent the money on big bricks and mortar headquarters and bricks and mortar offices everywhere, and the redundancy again and again and again of all that stuff, a person that's at receptionist over here, a person's receptionist over here, a person's receptionist over there. There's such redundancies in the normal company, right? And we don't have that. And what's interesting is that also allows us to be free. And when Glenn Sanford's, thought about this model back in 2008-9, when he was really coming through the hard times of, it was actually 2009 when it started, coming through the hard times of that recession, the Great Recession. And he was seeing that brokers and agents didn't need to be going out of business. They didn't need to be in that situation where the overhead was strapping them and they couldn't stay alive because they had all this overhead. And he thought there's a better way. We don't need some of the stuff we used to need. Like I remember when there was a real estate MLS book and people walked around like a high school book. It was like there's a book and now there's no book, right? Because now we have the internet. And it's just fun to watch how this evolution has gone on, but still people are clinging to the way it's always been instead of realizing that you have found a different way. So tell me about your discoveries last week at the convention, because what was that like for you?
Oh my gosh. Such powerful people, powerful agents that are part of this company. I mean, it's not, locally, it's nationwide. I mean, I think even internationally that we have access to. I mean, these people were amazing. The speakers, the information, God, it just, it's, I mean, I'm overwhelmed with the amount of information right now because this is fairly new for me.
Yeah.
But it's just giving me such insight of what's available out there. What I have to tap into that I haven't even come close to.
Right. And again, not bashing anybody, but really in the past, you would have had a sales meeting and your sales manager would have been the one teaching it. Or if there was a class, it would have been somebody in our office of 50 or 80 or 40 or 30, whatever it is, right? It'd be the best person on that subject in this office. And now you've got the best person like out of 29,000 people, which by the way is crazy in itself. When Allison joined just 4 years and 8-9 months ago, there was 641 agents. It's 29,000. We're just about to break 30,000 agents. Wow. And all of that gives us the best talent. And people are coming from all companies. I mean, yours, your former, W Remax. I mean, you name it, they're coming. Why? Because they're finding a better place. You, when you got in here, some of the stuff, I was thinking about some of the technology stuff. Was it hard? Was it difficult? Because people think of this as almost being, because it's virtual, it's got to be hard. It's technology. It's like, how simple is it? How easy is it for you?
Well, number one, your leadership, your group has it set up in such a way that there is, individual attention to make it happen. So Sunny made it happen, made the process extremely easy. I didn't have to stress, I mean, it was stressful, but I didn't have to go figure it out on my own. I had someone holding my hand, telling me what I needed to do. Okay, let's do this. And it was a smooth transition. Going into the world, learning all of that, obviously, you start playing around, you start getting familiar with stuff and it's fun. I mean, I don't know if you remember maybe about 2 weeks ago, I was in the world and I think you were in the world and you contacted me.
I saw that you were in the world and I just did a little private message and you came popping into our little chat that we were having.
That was so cool. And I was actually touring some people while we were doing that. I was showing them the world and they were like, oh my God, this is just so cool. And we were having a full-on conversation in Avatar, in our Avatar world, and taking care of business, making sure that, I mean, it's just great. I mean, really, really, I think it's been easy. It's like everything new. You're going to have to put a little time to learn it, but it's nothing that bad. It's a smooth transition. And once you get it, it's so easy. It's fun. Another way of doing business. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, for sure, you're going to really appreciate KV Core, which is our lead generation platform. And I don't know if you've gotten into it yet, if it's completely set up, because it should be right now about set up for you.
Yeah,
You're going to
we're in
start
the process.
seeing the leads from that. You're going to start seeing that happening. And then we've got SkySlope, which is actually the paperless transaction process, which most companies anymore are on some sort of paperless system. So it's not, if you can upload a paper, if you're not faxing me, and if you're faxing me, please don't call us. I mean, we don't just stay
We haven't
wherever
heard
you
that
are.
in a long time.
Keep faxing over at your company right now. Don't come here. But if you're, if you're able to upload something, if you're able to scan something and upload it, if you're doing paperless stuff or some semblance of paperless, our platform is super simple. What's different, I think, about it is that we have so many people to support it.
Yeah.
It just feels
Mm,
like there's never ending support. And again, when you've got 600 people in the offices ready to help you, I say offices, in the virtual offices ready to help you, and you walk in and, hey, Annabelle, how can I help you? And they're there. It
yeah.
really makes everything seem super simple. And I know today you had another meeting because our little group has some other services. We kind of have our own culture within the culture in our own group. And you had a meeting with one of our technology experts, and so that we've got many things there for you that we want it to be super simple. So you're just kind of uncovering
Yes.
another layer,
That's,
another
that's
layer.
right. And
Yeah,
there's so many, right? And I know I want to learn them all so
right.
fast, but you just can't. We got to go little by little, step by step, and it's been great so far. I have no complaints. On the contrary, I brag about it. I am so happy to have discovered this new way of doing business. I mean, it's exactly the same. It's just so much easier.
Yeah, we just had a woman that was also one of our EXP agents, but not in our group in any way, shape, or form. And she was on a call with us a few minutes ago. And I saw her talking and teaching, and she's not even in our remote group. She has no financial connection to any of these people. And she was just giving and giving and giving and just sharing. And I was
Yep.
like, it's amazing that you wouldn't see that. You just don't see that. And not that realtors aren't nice people. I mean, I haven't spent my entire life around realtors. I love them, but you don't see the normal. The culture is not normally of giving and giving and giving. There's a lot of protectionism and a lot of kind of my way, and I've taken me years to get these things that I do, and I'm not going to give the secrets out. The other thing I want to talk about, because this financial picture is going to change, I think, entirely for you, and that is, it's not just the commissions, because for most agents you have one way of making money, right? The one way you make money is to go sell, and then you close that deal, and what do you get from it next year? That same deal? The answer is nothing. Maybe a referral, right? But there's no way to build a business in most companies, because there's nothing except my last deal. We always said you're employed, then you're unemployed, then you're employed, then you're unemployed, right? You're only as good
Yeah.
as your last transaction. But here
Yes.
you've got so many more things. So what are you looking forward to? I mean, you said the stock that you're purchasing, but what about the other pieces of that? What are you excited about?
So, you know, if you would have asked me, I don't know, maybe a month or two or three ago about attracting agents to come work for EXP or come to our group, I would have said, no, you know what? All my thing, I'm just going to do my sales. I'm going to focus. That's it. That's all I want to do. And just after being in contact and listening to agents that have transferred over, that are working and doing very well and are naturally attracting agents and are building their teams and are making money from those agents, like residual or revenue share, from them, that's another wow. Like, that just opened up my just opened up my mind. Like, there is so many ways of making income in this company, not just going out, making a deal, closing it, now go find another one. I mean,
Right.
I love what I do. I love real estate, but
Sure.
I
Of
also
course.
want, if I'm doing something, why not take advantage and build something else alongside of it? And revenue share to me was huge.
Well, the thing about revenue share that's so powerful, and you're right, most people don't come and I see, like I was thinking about your friend. You have a friend, and I won't mention names, but you have a
Right,
friend that just came over, and he and a buddy were talking about starting their own real estate company, right?
right.
So I've always told people, and even including your former broker, I probably would have said to him a long time ago, don't do it, whatever you do. And it's been worked out really well for your broker, your former broker. He's made a fortune. He's done very well for himself. He's respected and loved and all of that. But for most people, there's not much money in brokerage. In fact, I was commenting to somebody the other day. I said, I can show an agent how to make $1 million a year in commissions easier than I can teach a broker how to make $200,000 as a broker owner, right? Because brokerage is tough. You've got, just when you're having to sell yourself. Otherwise, you've got to have agents who are really productive, and you've got to have a lot of agents who are really productive because you've got overhead and things like that, right? And for you, if you think about the revenue share, it's no different than if you just owned your own brokerage. The difference is you didn't have to pay for it.
That's right.
There's no franchise, so therefore you don't have to pay for it. You have to just build it. And I remember saying to Allison one day, this is when I got it. And I woke up one morning and I got it. I mean, just like, I just saw the model, and I said, you own a region for this company. And she said, I don't understand. I said, you own a region no different than a Century 21 region or a Coldwell Banker region or a Keller Williams region. There's a master franchise that gets sold and you own a region. The difference is they have to pay big bucks for those things. And the other big difference is they have a regional area. Like it only is this area, this state, this half state, this region, this county. And I said, yours is like extended. And actually for her, and you've seen this, it extends from Hawaii to the UK. And there's like 26 states and the UK and Canada. And it's amazing, but you actually own that. Because the money that you generate through, and by the way, you said from other agents, and I want people to understand this because a lot of people, I remember thinking, I don't want to take that from my friend. I don't want to take that money from my friend, but it's not coming from your friend.
Right.
It's being paid to the company, and the company is sharing the revenue with those who build the company, right? So you get it from the company share, right? The 80-20 split is still the 80-20 split. And when they cap, right? So it really comes out of the company. But what's really fun about that is we start to see that we have a chance to really build something that's ours. And by the way, your family, should anything happen to you, they inherit that. That's residual. It's monthly, and it's paid on the same people year after year after year after year, as long as they're still here and they're still producing. You don't have to even be here. That's a whole different conversation I want to get into, but you can retire. You could die. You could be gone, and your family would still be enjoying what you built for them, real estate,
exciting.
Where is that in real estate?
Yeah, nowhere.
Yeah. It's,
I mean, that to me was very, just eye-opening, I feel like I've just, Pandora box has opened.
Annabelle, you were a business owner. You had besides real estate, you guys had a restaurant or a chain or something.
We had a restaurant. Yeah, we built it from ground up. So, and I know what it takes to start your own business. It's not cheap, and the opportunity we have using this platform, it doesn't cost us any money to start a business. It's just your time. It's it's put in the time, do what you have to do, and it'll happen.
Well, you're going to discover very shortly too. It's not even just the people that you've worked around who are curious. What did you see that I haven't seen? Why did you go? They're going to be asking that question. But it's also all the relationship capital that you built through the years, because you've done transactions with people who admire you, who like you, your friends. You go to the Women's Council together. You're part of NAREP together. I mean, whatever it is, right? You're at company functions or other company realtor functions, and you're seeing friends, and they're going, "Hey, I saw you moved," and they start to question why. And it's really easy to say, just take a look at this. It's crazy good. I'm super excited. I mean, if I was around you, I'd be like, how do I research that? Because you're nutty, crazy fun right now.
Let me tell you, I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually president of the Walnut Valley Rotary Club. And I'm running these Zoom meetings every week. And this Tuesday, I was asking our members, who's in charge of the month of June for like setting up our guest speakers. And, some of them are older. We've got a lot of older people that have been in Rotary for 20 years, right?
Right.
And they are struggling with technology, which is Zoom. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys would be blown away if you saw the new company I'm with. I said, it is a virtual world. And they were like, you know what? We would love to see that. Couldn't you do a presentation on that? Like, could you take us into the world? And I said, you know what? Put me down for June. I'm going to give you guys a tour of this world so you guys can see what technology really is. And I mean, they're all excited about it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I think that we've got a lot of things to show, and we ended up getting our own offices. We call it like a little private team suite, and I
Yeah,
know you've been in there, but it's just hysterical to see what we're able to do. And
it is.
I can be sitting like right now. I think I'm actually sitting in there. My avatar is in my office, so if somebody goes in, I'm not there. I'm over here, but I should be at my desk. But it's just amazing to see what's going on, and what I love about what Glenn Sanford envisioned, and I'm just going to kind of encapsulate this for everybody who's listening. Glenn's a giver. I mean, he's brilliant. He reminds me of an Elon Musk or somebody like that. He's like Bill Gates. I mean, Bill Gates,
Yeah.
the guys that changed the world, right? Some of these guys with their technology stuff changed the world. And I believe this platform is going to change the world. I believe that what we're doing right now is changing the world. And we own that company. We bought that gaming company, right? Verbella. So it's part of our stock. So our stock is made up of our mortgage company and our title company and our home warranty company and our currencies company and we have all of these things. And by the way, almost all of those pay a commission. So when we have people get involved, so we have like 12 ways to make money in this company.
Yeah.
Most of them I sell, I close, I'm done. I'm unemployed. I got to go find another one. Here we got 12 different ways of getting paid. So, but Glenn had this idea, he was a stockbroker. He was part of Keller Williams Technology little group years ago. And he saw technology. He saw, he built a virtual company. He started building a virtual team, if you will. And he saw the possibilities and the fact that we didn't need all that expense. But what he really got was that he wanted to build a company that would have collaboration. And, the almost like in the technology world, they call it open platform, where people are just sharing technology, just sharing. Like what I come up with, you can have it. And if you can use it to put things on top of it, make it better.
Go for it.
And exactly, that's what he did. He said, I want to build something that we can just make it the best and the best and the best and the best. Not just what I think, but what all the agents want to build and what they think. And he got a shell company and built the stock. And I remember when Allison joined and she used to, she was telling me the story about the stock. I'm like, it's no big deal. It's 42 cents. It's over the counter. It's not even a real stock, right? Well, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, no, 2 years ago in May, 2 years ago right now, that just dated this video, but 2 years ago, they were uplifted to the NASDAQ. I mean, we're talking Apple Computer, we're talking Intel, we're talking PepsiCo, we're talking about the biggest companies, the most exciting technology-based companies are in NASDAQ. And that's where we are. And by the way, you don't get in there easy. You don't just, it's not fly by night. It's like, so everything that we do, when people go, well, I'm not sure. It's like, well, I'm pretty darn sure because NASDAQ already checked us out. Like we're not just wondering if it's going to work. It's going to work. But he said, I want the agents to be owners. I want everybody to have a piece of this. And I want the collaboration that comes from ownership. And when I see you talking about the sharing, I think what really makes that true is that I'm not protecting it anymore because it's our company.
Right.
Like when you do good, I do good. When we build this company, we all do well. Right? Exactly. The rising tide lifts all the ships. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, in most companies, it's like, no, I want to be the number one. I want to be the best.
Right.
And I think that's really one of the big differences. But what he also created in that was this ability to have a financial future. And of course, then this revenue share thing. And, Keller Williams, I was there, and I'm not going to knock it because it's to me, it was always the very best possibility to say they have a profit share plan that really allows people to help grow the company and they get to benefit from it. But I'll tell you what, we're going through some weird times now. And of course, in 2008 to 2010, there was no profits. There just wasn't a lot of profits. And right now, companies are hurting. They're spending a lot of money on overhead. Those companies, they can't reduce their overhead. They got 50, 60, 70, 80. If you can imagine, I know several brokers right now in not only their franchise system, but in others that have $100,000+ a month in overhead. I'm sure your former broker probably has, actually, I was just thinking about that. Your former broker probably has an overhead that's crazy like that. That every single month, whether coronavirus is here, whether anybody's moving transactions in some states right now, they're still closed. Nobody's doing business. And that overhead is still going on. And there are people that are going to be devastated and financially wiped out. And yet we were fully functioning, Annabelle. You watched it. We were fully functioning.
Right. Nothing had affected the company. I mean, coronavirus did not affect the company. People were doing business as normal.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you most excited about for your future? What do you see? What's it look like for you?
Wow. Having money, saving, like a good savings, having a team, which I, never even thought that would be possible. But I do see it on this platform. And just continuing to learn and exposing myself to great people.
Well, you're in the right place, and you found a bunch of great people, and I'm not including just us, and maybe not us. I'm just going to say I'm amazed, and I'm amazed that we get to bring talent like you, who probably would have never been dislodged from your former company because it was so good for you. And I'm just excited that we get a chance to give you something even bigger and even better, and a future that I know most agents will never find.
Yeah.
Unless they're part of a model like this. So I'm really happy you're with us. Thanks for your trust and your confidence and for all your hard work, because you're killing it right now.
I'm
And,
excited and I'm happy to be a part of your group, Dawn. I really am.
well, this is for you. We're glad to
Thank
have you on
you.
board, and we look forward to it. And there's Miss Sunny. We got to run. We're doing something else, and so I want to
All
just
right.
thank you for being here.
Very
And
good.
we'll
Thank
talk.
you very much.
We'll talk soon. Bye,
All
Hannah.
right. Bye. Thanks.